What if I told you the future King and Queen of England are eyeing the very palace that once nearly brought the monarchy to its knees, a place abandoned in royal shadows, a decision that could reshape everything we think we know about the House of Windsor? Welcome to Fort Belvedere, the most cursed, romantic, and controversial royal residence in modern history. And now it may be home to Prince William and Princess Catherine. But why this estate? Why now? And what does this bold move signal about the future of the monarchy and their own power? In recent weeks, royal insiders and sharp-eyed press watchers have noticed a quiet yet unmistakable buzz behind palace walls. Subtle signs, unconfirmed whispers, and curious visits by staff have all pointed to one thing: Prince William and Princess Catherine are considering relocating, not just to any estate, but to a place loaded with royal drama, scandal, and history. They currently reside at Adelaide Cottage, a 4-bedroom property on the Windsor estate. Charming, modest by royal standards, and suited to their desire for privacy as they raise their 3 young children, George, Charlotte, and Louis. But make no mistake, William and Catherine are no longer just a young royal couple. They are the imminent King and Queen of England. And with that role comes a new chapter, a bigger stage, a louder message. So where does Fort Belvedere come in? Let's back up. Nestled in Windsor Great Park, shrouded by ancient trees and miles of guarded land, lies a Gothic revival mansion with 18th century bones and 20th century ghosts. Fort Belvedere is not merely a building. It's a symbol of abdication, romance, betrayal, and now, possibly, reinvention. It was once the private playground of King Edward VIII, the monarch who famously gave up the throne in 1936 to marry Wallis Simpson, the American divorcee who set royal protocol on fire. What followed was one of the most dramatic crises in British history, and it all began inside these very walls. After Edward's abdication, Fort Belvedere was locked in time, a relic of what could have been, and what should never have happened again. But now, almost 90 years later, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, now Prince and Princess of Wales, are being linked to this estate once more. The story first started to bubble beneath the surface when unnamed palace aides were reportedly spotted surveying parts of the Belvedere grounds. Then came curious press clippings, brief mentions of possible royal relocation to a historically significant but controversial site. And now, royal watchers are in a frenzy. Some believe it's a strategic power play. Others say it's a personal decision, a way to give their family more space, security, and a symbolic fresh start. But the real question is, what message does this send? William and Catherine have been quietly rebranding the monarchy for the modern era, from walking their children to school without a nanny, to handling their own social media, to focusing on mental health, early childhood education, and climate advocacy. They've carved out a new royal identity. And with King Charles III focused on a slimmed-down monarchy, the pressure has increased on the Waleses to step into greater visibility and stability. So a move to Fort Belvedere wouldn't just be about real estate. It would be about legacy, claiming a place that once represented failure and scandal and turning it into a new symbol of strength, duty, and the future. But not everyone is thrilled. Sources close to the palace say King Charles and Queen Camilla have raised eyebrows at the suggestion. Not only does Fort Belvedere carry a complex emotional history for the royal family, but it also represents an era the crown has tried to quietly bury. One unnamed aide was quoted as saying, "Fort Belvedere is a place of ghosts. It's not somewhere you move into lightly." Insiders also whisper that Charles had different plans for the future of that estate, possibly for official functions or as a diplomatic retreat. So why are William and Catherine pushing for it? Some believe it's about independence. Others think it's a chess move, one that signals that the next generation of royals is ready to lead on their own terms. And what about Princess Catherine? Those closest to her say she's conflicted. A woman of deep tradition, Catherine has always approached royal life with immense respect for history and protocol. Moving into the home once occupied by the most rebellious monarch in modern history, that's not a light decision. again. But some also believe she sees the potential to reclaim the narrative, to show that what was once a royal failure can now be a royal future. So here we are. The future king and queen stand on the edge of a decision that could ripple across the monarchy. A home tied to scandal, sorrow, and sovereignty, now possibly becoming the beating heart of a new royal chapter. What will they choose? And if they do move, will Fort Belvedere finally redeem its haunted history, or will its shadows return?